Well, guys, we did have new merch in store, but we went on a Coke bender and actually bought it all ourselves. So,
It's going back up, but it's going to be twice as much.
All right, welcome back to episode 3 of Super Neutral Bros. I am Jared.
Eric,
Zach.
Jordan.
also known as Squirtle.
Squirtle.
And we are on to episode 3, which was called, I don't know if I got the name written down on that one.
Dead in the Water.
Dead in the Water. Kind of gives away what might be happening, and this contributed to my already high intensity but open fear of open water.
Yep. You don't go in deep water. You know what's down there?
Nothing
You-
good.
No, you don't.
Nothing
No, you don't.
Who knows?
Exactly. Zach's got the correct answer. Nobody knows what's
Nobody
down there.
fucking knows
I just tell you
what's
they
down
know.
there.
Just they don't know.
Why do you think NASA chose to go to space when they started as a oceanographic?
Hey, let's study the world that we're on. No, fuck that. Let's go to space. Getting the hell out of here.
I can tell you exactly why. Because the scariest part of this whole fucking episode is the end.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
that fucking kid's
Dude.
face pops out of the water.
It fucked
Nope.
me up, man.
That did not.
Fantastic.
I got
That didn't, because I was
chills.
like, what?
I'd like,
You didn't think that was
This was an
freaky?
episode where I was like, I didn't think we were going to get any corporeal.
you thought it was all going to be
Um,
like that scene?
Yeah, it was just going to be,
you were gonna
Like kind of
see
spirit
anything.
doing things in the
ephemeral
background.
and yeah.
And then that hand yanks that kid into the water.
The hand was terrifying. The hand was great, and the eyes. Oh my god!
That was too much. I didn't like
and
that.
it was
at
an
all.
amazing effect. I thought it
It
looked
looked good. It looked legit.
What is worse
Yeah.
than a rapist?
A child.
A child. No.
No.
In this case, yes, a child is terrifying. Children are
The
terrifying.
child was
That
terrifying. The mute was terrifying too. He
yeah.
he creeped me out.
I was waiting for red rum to come out of that little fucker's mouth the entire time.
All right, so as we're talking about the actual characters, let's talk about the new characters of the show, kind of the one-shot characters that we were introduced to. Obviously, first person you're introduced to is the daughter. And she doesn't really have a big part, but she's like the opening scene of it. Goes for a swim.
He's the opening eye candy, of which they just threw at you in this episode.
Mhm.
Yes.
And then what year is this guy from? Like, come on, guys don't like buff girls. Like, I mean,
I think that's what they call a Gen Xer.
Yeah, total Gen X move.
she jumps in and she's swimming, and she seems that she gets this like eerie feeling, but then she's like, "Nah, I'll just keep swimming." And then she stops
Also-
again, gets this eerie feeling. I don't know. Maybe I didn't have my TV loud enough, but I didn't hear any whispers when they're in the water, even though they said that there's whispers.
I heard the whispers.
Okay.
I
I
think
didn't
that's your own voices in your head.
Yeah, that sounded like normal, so I didn't notice any difference.
There's been whispers in every episode.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, there's just whispers all the time. What are you
Yeah.
talking
I
about?
hear 'em right now.
The one thing I liked is that slight fake out on the camera work, because it made it look like someone was watching from the trees.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
Yeah,
there
I
really
guess-
was somebody.
It
I
implied
forgot
that
about
something
that.
was watching. Yeah.
But obviously that never came back up. That
no.
I would assume there wasn't anyone. They dropped that thread right away. So
So yeah, we got the daughter.
Daughter, then the son.
the son.
Oh, his death
man.
was brutal.
That one
Yeah,
was that one was horrible.
It felt more like a slasher movie death than anything.
I mean, and they did a fake out on that when his hand's reaching in, and then the music raises, and he just pulls out the drain.
The fucking tension on that one. Oh, I didn't like it.
That tension point on that was great.
He pulled out the drain, and I was like, oh, okay. Because I couldn't remember who died and who didn't, and I was like, oh, okay, he's fine. He just made us think he was gonna die,
right?
And
for them to accurately predict the Flint water crisis. What, 10 years before?
Oh my!
It's just like The Simpsons, man.
5 years before. It was 20. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. You know what? Let's be real. The Flint water crisis is probably going on already.
It was happening.
It was already
Manitowoc,
happening.
Wisconsin to Flint, Michigan. That's they're crossing the same body of water in Lake Michigan there. So
right.
There's only like 3 or 4 lakes there, so.
Yeah, well, the big one.
And then, I mean, you get the dad then, who's inconsolable after watching both of his kids, not watching them, but both of them dying. And I feel like he had an idea of why. He just didn't want to say.
My biggest issue is, didn't watch both his kids died, but I'm assuming he heard his son because he was sitting about 15 feet away.
And did nothing.
You literally see him, like, there's a shot where they show him kick the can as he's struggling to, like, get out of the water.
He made some fucking noise.
The dad's gonna come save him.
Nope.
No. Dad.
No.
Dad's
Though his little scene, like, it's not a very long scene, but his little scene on the dock where he's like, my kids are dead. I fucking don't want to talk to you.
That was probably about the best actual acted scene by a one-time actor in that episode. We always get like that good scene. That was that scene for me.
Yeah, his was very well. I every time he was actually on screen, I was like, this looks like a troubled man with,
right.
It played very well.
Dropped his anchor at the wrong time and just fucking whipped that motherfucker.
His was the coolest death. He went fucking flying.
Yeah.
He went out in a blaze.
Chucked him out of the boat. With his death, I don't think the visual effect on the boat was probably very good, but it didn't stick out to me as something that I was like, oh, that looks bad.
Right.
I didn't know what your guys' thought. It wasn't particularly long.
Right.
But I was just curious what your guys' take was on that, because it was
wasn't distracting.
Right. It was one of those ones where it's like, if they had like HBO budget, they probably would have just done it practical with a stuntman.
Yeah.
Right.
But they don't have HBO budgets. They have Warner Brothers.
WB
budgets.
Shitty WB budgets.
It is HBO now, but
I think when they were like, hey, remember
Channel
how
15,
the first
Channel 15 budget? That's what they.
yeah.
They're like, you remember when we did the pilot and you lit 2 women on fire on the ceiling and then drove a car through a fucking house? Yeah, your budget's a little limited right now. You're not getting to flip a boat.
Not getting any of that. So
you can do that again. You're probably gonna want to save it for the last episode. Everything else is.
So, all right. So there's that 3. So all 3 of that family, boop, gone.
Yeah.
boom.
And then we get the cop.
Well, let's not talk about the cop yet. I don't want to talk about the cop yet, but let's talk about the daughter of the cop. Okay. She comes in. She is the obvious Dean interest of the episode.
Not the only one,
one
though.
Of those. Gotta have one of those.
He's getting ready to take that one.
Yes, the waitress. Yes, very true. But he, Price kind of hitting on her at the beginning, and she pretty much just blows it off with the call out.
Like, I also like the fact that Sam immediately starts giving him shit.
And that's the best
I like
part.
kids.
Name 3 kids. Name 3 kids.
Name 3 kids.
3 kids.
He goes, I'm thinking.
He literally just met one.
I love he
couldn't
did
even remember.
try to name the kid he just met.
Yeah.
Right.
Already out of his mind. Already gone. I was like, come on, at least get it wrong.
Give me the name of the goddamn cat right now and I'll blow my fucking head off.
But yeah, he doesn't get that at all.
No.
And so you have her, and then you have her son,
kid.
who's pretty much the mute, but he is the driving force behind pretty much telling them what to find out.
Yeah, all the drawings from the get-go are all.
So what I question is with the drawings is the kid in the lake talking to him, telling him these things like the house and the bike and everything.
What it had to have been.
It seems like he knew where the bike was.
My interpretation was he was close enough to one of those events where his dad died that like it rubbed off on him. Like he witnessed it, he was near it, like kind of got connected. Though I just got Damien vibes from him the whole time.
There was a part where they said that when a traumatic thing happens, sometimes they get gifted with these. I can't remember what he
connections to the premonitions.
Premonitions and things like that.
Oh, I guess I didn't even pick up on that. I didn't hear that part or something.
It was a quick little conversation while they're driving down the road.
Oh, okay.
Which I will let you know, as someone who's watched the show all the way through, those driving scenes do eventually look more natural. Like they don't it doesn't look like green screen with a vehicle.
Right.
Now I didn't have the problem with it this episode. I think I had the issue with it last episode. They were going one direction. They had scene in the background going with them, and they had like a reflection on the windscreen going in like a reverse direction. So it was playing like it. And I don't know if, obviously I don't sit on the hood of a car and like look inside as it's driving down the road. Maybe that would be an accurate reflection, but it felt like it was backwards there, and I was like, it threw me a little bit.
Right.
I didn't get that in this one. I think it was in car camera anyway.
Yeah. So we have the kid, all right, and then we get the pretty much sheriff, the lead cop.
Whatever.
I think we should go back to the other bit player in this whole story, which is the waitress in the initial diner scene.
My God,
Wendy.
She did a wonderful job.
She's a nice lady.
Yeah.
No.
Is she coming back?
No. But I think it's a nice evolution of where Dean's going, because Dean first episode hits on his brother's girlfriend, knowing it's not going to go anywhere. Second episode tries to bang a chick who's been through trauma. Third episode tries to pick up a girl at a diner, and then successfully gets a kiss from a girl who's been through trauma.
Like multiple traumas.
In a row.
Yeah.
So,
I think there's about 5 in this episode that are.
Husband died
a year and a half ago, drowned. 3 people she knows in a small town die.
Yep.
Watches her father drown to death. Her son almost drowned to death. She was almost drowned to death.
Almost drowned to death herself.
Like a solid week period where they all just get.
But you know who gets the most action out of all that from her? Sam. He gets her naked body on top.
Oh my God, we pulled her out of the tub.
Okay. Literal note I have on here has to be the first woman that he's touched in any type of intimate way since his girlfriend burnt to death.
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
So, with her fire to water.
we get the four things.
Keeping track of the important things here. Thank you.
Air. These 4.
You think that one lives with him for a little bit though? Like, he hasn't been laid in a while.
Oh my God.
Got a date.
We'll find out. He's a little pent up and aggressive in the next.
Though
episode.
I do like
coming out swinging on the next one.
You mother.
He just starts putting shotgun rounds through walls.
Oh my God.
I do like the fact that Dean is trying to get Sam to hey, kind of
relax.
Get out of your malaise.
We gotta have some fun.
Yeah.
It's like. Also, but yeah, let's go back to the cop now. Now that we got past the waitress scene. Mainly, I just want to kind of talk about that interaction. Oh, within that scene, though, with the waitress, we do have a nice, important character beat. Where he's like, the trails are going cold. And then you get Dean's kind of retort on hey, I was the one who was actually out there with Dad for every day for 2 years.
Right.
While you're off doing frat parties.
Right.
So everything about
Going
Sam
back.
says he went to frat.
Mm-hmm.
He pledged. He probably didn't make it.
Oh my god. Dropped out. So
But
then,
I think the cop did a
yes,
good job. I think
go
he
ahead,
had some
yeah.
good. He had some good scenes. I thought.
I did like the very first scene when he was like, and the dam, and Dean just goes out on a limb. He's like, "It's sprung a leak."
Leak.
He's like, "No, the whole damn thing's about
Falling
to fall."
apart.
You should know that.
I thought he was gonna be like, "No, it's getting built, you dipshit."
And it's the perfect thing because they come in as it was wildlife
Federal
management,
Wildlife
and
Reserve.
he brings up the dam, and I immediately go, "Oh, this is going to be good,"
He's gonna fuck this
because
up.
they're obviously not going to be equipped for wherever
Also,
this conversation
Yeah,
goes next.
it's sprung
We are,
a leak.
3 episodes in. We are 3 for 3 of them failing other covers.
Yeah.
They rolled
And-
for perception,
and-
and they rolled terribly every
They're
single
really relying on the
And
badges on
they
this
get
one.
confronted on each one too, don't they? It's not just
Yeah.
like you guys sound like you're full of shit. It's like, no, I know you're not who you say you
I
are.
looked
Like,
it up. You're a liar.
Hey, question, Eric. I have to ask a question. In the 15 years, is their technology going to advance so they can look up stuff on their phone so they know stuff about the place that they're going to, or are they just going to go with maps and books and
Just
going to libraries the whole damn
maps.
time?
And that
No.
journal.
No, they surprisingly do a good job of like showing them like educating themselves on new technology and getting.
Okay, well that's good. That's good. Okay, so
Except for
go ahead.
I can't make it. That's just in reference to the researching things. I'm not going to say anything in regards to
Right. Yeah.
other technologies that they use.
Right. So the sheriff, he seems like he wants their help, that type of stuff. And then as the episode goes on, he gets more hostile towards them.
The scene where he's like, "You have 2 options."
Yeah,
Yeah.
that scene was pretty good.
Also, I like the little bit where they come in and she's like, "Sam, Dean," and like, first name basis now, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that scene.
he knew.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
one of those he knows. Yeah, those ones. But he gets really pissed, and it was his grandson who showed them the bike. He gets pissed at them for finding the bike. And then
that whole scene.
right,
It's great.
it's a continuous scene because it goes from him running out, them digging it up, the cop showing up, pulling his gun, and then I
Her
can't
showing
remember the
up.
boy's name. What's the boy's name?
Lucas.
Lucas, her showing up and like questioning her dad on it stuff, and he couldn't tell her yes or no about stuff. And then Lucas going to the lake, and that whole scene that continues about 4 minutes was.
I mean, but he even broke on
good.
that before the kid went into the water, didn't he?
Right? Yeah, he broke.
He came clean.
Broke
Yeah.
on
We were kids.
cleaning. But the thing that I love about that scene is he's like, "You think it's a fucking ghost that's doing this?" And the moment he sees his grandson near the lake, he's like, "Fuck it, it's a ghost," and sprints to go save his grandson.
Well, he saw the hand in the head.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
See, I didn't see it from that distance.
I read it as the second he saw the hand in the head, it was like,
Well,
okay.
No, you have to remember, he's just reaching towards the water when he screams out for Lucas and runs towards the lake.
Right, but as he gets towards the lake, he sees the head come up. He sees.
Yeah. I think there was a direct scene of him looking in the water and then the head looking back at him.
There was that scene, but my interpretation of it was,
because I think he even says Peter.
Yeah, it's like Peter. But my interpretation of it was that he wasn't just worried about his son falling into the lake. He's like, these guys are starting to make me feel like they might be true. And as soon as he saw his grandson in danger, he was like,
yeah,
I'm not going to risk it not being true.
Yeah, he went and
right.
sacrificed himself.
Because they both dove in, and he kind of went off to the side, and she's yelling from the dock, and they can't find him and stuff. And and him just like wading in and telling Peter, I'm sorry, Peter, take me, leave my grandson alone, that type of stuff. And that kind of got me a little bit there.
Yeah.
like him just
There's-
sacrificing himself, knowing that it
Mhm.
was going to come
Mhm.
to an end,
Yeah.
pretty much for him.
There's also a nice little beat moment in there. It's that, and you can miss it, of the daughter being like, "Dad, no," like the concern for her father going into that lake.
Right.
But then she like kind of reverts back and worry about her son. But like, there's still that moment of like, it's her dad.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
She doesn't want either one of them to drown, but
Right.
yeah.
One character we didn't really talk about, well, and he does meet his ultimate demise, which pretty much like ends the curse. The dad does, just so we wrap that up. But one character we didn't mention was Peter's mom, and she only
Yeah.
gets about
Oh.
a
She's
like
just there.
40-second beat.
I have several
But-
thoughts on these scenes because this was a couple of things. It cracked me up a little bit. One, the map the boy drew with the church and the White House,
Mm-hmm.
and in the search for that, what I really wanted with them standing out in front of this church with a 12-year-old boy's hand-drawn picture is for someone to walk up and be like, "What are you guys doing?" And like, "Oh, we're following this map." You just have them be like,
It's just crayon drawing.
like these guys are lunatics. Get away from them. Like, how did you know to get here? Well, we just kept driving around until we found a church that looked like this and this house. What?
These psychopaths.
I wanted someone to like just to bump into him and be like, "Oh, hey, how can I help you?" Like, "Yeah, we're looking for this place." It's just
Oh,
But
Okay.
okay, so them like literally like, hey, we're looking for this little boy who wears
Boy.
a red hat,
Oh
wears a
my
blue
God.
hat and rides a
Rides
red
a red
bicycle.
bike.
Like,
Oh.
whoa, that
get
is
the fuck out of here.
Reminds me of. It was like, can you imagine being this little old lady? People know not to bring this trauma up to you, and also these two strangers will all be like, "Hey, you ever seen your dead son around here?"
Has your dead son been around for a while?
we think he's murdering people. No, they didn't have any clue it was him at that point.
no.
The other great thing on this scene that I had noted, I might be the last of my notes, but that didn't take place until 25,
Halfway, at
30
least halfway,
minutes
if
in.
not 2/3
Yeah,
through the episode.
A good ways in.
and that was our first. We've been in Wisconsin for 30 minutes now, and we finally get.
Thank you. I
a
literally have the
Packers
same
thing.
fucking note because there's a little Packers piece on the mirror.
I was waiting. I was like,
Oh my
"There's
God.
no signs up in yards. There's nothing in any of these places." I'm just waiting. I'm like, because if they want to say it's happening in Wisconsin, there's a Packers something somewhere. I was like, there couldn't have been any licensing or rights issues. Like they're
It's
not
free
playing
advertisement
for
for
the
the game.
Packers.
Right.
You're just in Wisconsin. Like I'm pretty sure that's written into state law there. So they finally showed it, and I was like, all right, we're good. You did it once. You probably should have been more, but like
Check.
it's
Check.
officially, yeah. It was
Packers
literally
got it.
on my list. Like look for a
Oh.
Packers thing, and they had it. So
On that note,
Good on
we
them.
are finally out of the Southwest. Like we were in California, and then Utah,
Colorado.
Colorado. Now
And
we're
now
now it's the
we're
Midwest,
all the way
northern
in
West.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Okay, so
By episode 7 will be in Ireland.
Just keep going.
They're gonna be searching for chupacabras down in Mexico. So now,
You boys like
we've gone through we've gone through the characters that were introduced. All right, so Sam and Dean, I kind of want to talk about them for this episode. Okay, Sam at the beginning, like we talked about, we already touched on it. We're losing it. We're losing the trail. It's going cold. That type of stuff. And then he is kind of, for me, he kind of takes the back seat for, I would say, a good part of the episode behind Dean, who Dean is making connections to certain characters in this episode.
This
Sam
is definitely
does
a
kinda
Dean
take-
episode.
Yeah.
It is, because Sam
He's the one
takes a back
communicating with the
seat.
kid.
Yes. And it kind of shows that Dean is willing to do something that he's uncomfortable with, because Sam makes it known that he hates kids. That,
Right.
that
Right.
Dean hates kids.
Right.
He hates
Dean-
kids.
he fucking calls
in the
it.
first
Yeah.
within the first 5 minutes episode, he makes it known that Dean hates kids, and then for the rest of the episode, we're pushed that Dean is trying to make a connection to this kid, And
You know
I
what's
think
funny?
actually one of the best parts of the whole episode is Dean talking to Lucas. Is that what it was? And telling him, my mom would told me I need to be brave, or whatever it was with that, where he made that pretty
And
much
Sam,
that. Yeah,
that's a
Sam
great scene
overhears
because
it.
right, it's such a cool scene. It's a well done scene, and it's well acted by Sam because it actually pulls away from Dean. You don't even see him telling part of the story. It pushes in on Sam to watch his reaction to Dean telling the story,
Right.
to kind of see where Dean's reaction to that was, or Sam's reaction to him telling that. Just wonderful moment.
Yeah. So
Also,
go ahead.
when his first interaction with that kid, I literally wrote down, Dean's worse with children than I am.
But what he did in that scene is that he made that connection, like, hey, here's my family, I'm going to introduce you to my family.
Yeah.
And he still even calls Sam his nerd brother there. Like, he just is talking smack on him to even kids who are mute. Like, he will say it to anyone. Anyone who has ears, he's going to say it.
We didn't really say much about the kid actor yet. I thought it was well done. He came off sympathetic.
Yeah.
Like, you
always
felt
helps when
bad
they don't
for him. You didn't feel like...
I mean, his one line is just poetic at the end.
All right.
Yeah, he did a good job.
We're gonna talk about that one line where he's just like, Zeppelin rules. That was definitely supposed to be a Zeppelin song playing when they drove off at the end there, right?
Well, yes, but we talked about it. They don't have
for the first season, so
it's just so bad. It's like Zeppelin rules, and it's like,
going down the road.
Dude, I start up my car.
Just some fucking stock music in the background.
It is so bad. All right. Anybody else want to touch on Sam and Dean during the episode and things that they did? Anything about their character development?
It didn't.
Go ahead, Zach.
It didn't hover on them a ton in this episode, but I think that's because they had a ton of plot and a ton of ideas to get through on this.
Mm-hmm.
This.
I will say the way they kind of
monster and stuff, and it was a fantastic episode. It kept the pace very high.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was the highest. I think that was the highest death episode.
Yeah.
They were just dropping bodies.
Death count was pretty high.
Yeah, probably true. The death count went high. It was.
I think one of the nice things about the episode is it kind of gives you the same vibe. Like, all right, there's going to be like the skeptical, like authority figure, like there's been in the other episodes. Kind of a townsfolky person around, like there has been, and it's going to be focusing on this family. And then like you get a third through the episode, and all three of those original family members are just fucking dead.
They're already gone.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, go ahead, Jordan.
I was saying I like that it was kind of like a murder mystery, like a horror, and then there was like a twist at the end when we find out, oh, it's the cop guy, and he admitted and he murdered the kid that's actually
right. It was almost like
guy.
it was almost like an episode of Cold Case crossed over with Supernatural.
Yeah, exactly. There was like,
anybody ever watch that old show?
Oh yeah.
Right, but yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Is it was an old episode of Cold Case, but yeah, they and even Sam and Dean had no idea. Water Wraith. They were going through everything. They didn't know what it was. It was just a spirit that was connected to the lake.
There is one more Sam and Dean thing that was we're kind of talking about them.
Yeah, go ahead.
That I thought of. I had it in my notes. The scene where, like, it's right after the scene where Dean's talking to Lucas and kind of opening up about his mom and all that, and then they give him the second. He gives him the second picture. And they're kind of in the hall, and thing is like, Sam's like, "You never told me that." He's like, "Well, yeah, I didn't need to." It's like we don't need to hug or anything like that.
Yes, yes,
I just
absolute
my note,
brother moment.
Yeah.
but literally, I just put down Dean can't express emotions well in my
I'm not gonna
notes.
say, I'm not gonna say it on here, but it really reminded me of Step Brothers. I'm not gonna say the word, but like, should we hug? Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That's literally it right
That
there.
was pretty much it.
Well, a percentage of that energy. Yes,
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
that was great.
We kind of talked about the plot of the episode already. Okay, monster or demon, it's a spirit. It's a little bit different than what they actually have faced because, first episode you get. Actually, it's a spirit in the first episode. I shouldn't say it's
but it's
different.
But it's a
It's a
spirit
white
that's kind of
lady, right?
yeah. It's a specific type of spirit.
Yeah.
Right. And then
Like, 'cause it-
second is different, and then we get this one, and this one's connected to the townsfolk. It's connected to a wrongdoing that some people did that were still alive, and it's punishing those people. And you find out, you think, okay, as long as these people stay away from the lake, they'll be safe. Well, nope, that's not true.
That sink scene is fucking brutal.
Yep,
Yeah,
the sink scene, and then
yeah.
the bathtub scene too.
The bathtub.
Which
All
we
right.
haven't really
We haven't
gone
discussed-
over.
That's the
Yeah.
one scene we haven't really dove into.
Yeah, let's go through that one.
I've got several notes, some of which are jokey, some of which are serious.
Okay,
It
question.
really freaked.
Right, you
Oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Jordan.
No, I was just
Jordan.
saying it really
Right.
freaked me out when all that shit's happening and she's like drowning and the kid's just like fucking pounding on the door. Like that was
He
super
can't do
creepy
anything
for me.
because
It
it's
was
locked.
so
She locked the
disturbing.
door on him.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
disturbing.
you parents have that extra issue.
What really freaked me out, I'm sorry, I'm gonna stay on theme there, was that she was filling the bathtub
Oh, when
up
it's in
that
its full.
high,
It's like it's
jumps in,
full.
and then
Let it
just
go.
leaves the tap
It's
on.
the
Why
water's
would they
running.
turn
It's
it
gonna
off?
flood
Turn
either
it
way.
Okay, no.
Yeah.
We're gonna go into this whole bathroom process. Who starts a bath in the dark? Who takes one in the dark? Who keeps it running and it's from full?
I'm sorry, but if question, if you had just heard about a townsfolk drowning in
In a
their sink,
sink.
I'm taking a shower. I'm taking a shower.
I'm not even
How am I
bathing.
supposed to drown in a shower? I'm not even gonna drown in a shower.
I'm not touching water. I'm not drinking it. I'm not bathing.
Only bottled.
Gatorade.
Only bottled. They
I'll
can't
live on
use me that way.
Gatorade for a while.
Whiskey, as Eric would say. I'm
That-
gonna-
that's what bothered me the most about that. I had to
Whiskey.
jump
Yeah.
in.
When life gets hard,
Agreed.
whiskey.
Isn't there that story of the guy who it was some famous like actor director, and they're doing a jungle movie, and he was the only one who didn't drink the water. He only drank whiskey the whole time that they were there, and everybody else got like dysentery, and he was fine
it's
because he
the-
just straight drank whiskey the whole damn time.
It's
No,
the
it was
it's a I
Cabin
want
in the
the
Woods.
no. It was the I want to hold the baby from
Oh, from
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
Who's that? Max von Sydow.
Yeah.
It was the movie where they're taking the fucking boat up the mountain to get to the other side of the mountain. Where they-
That's all the
I
yeah.
don't remember
I
that
just
movie.
I think about that like
There's
if you're not
another
gonna drink
movie-
water, just drink whiskey like him.
That did the same thing with beer at a cabin. Oh, God.
Okay. Let's talk about another thing that's in the
The bathroom scene.
bathroom scene. Come play with me, as a child whispers it, while you're is far creepier than I'm going to kill you. Like if I get the option, if I get an angry
Yes.
spirit that says, "Come play with me," or I'm gonna murder you, tell me you're gonna murder me. I don't want to
Yeah,
know
let's
what's
go.
going
Let's
on.
do this. We'll go down swinging.
Like I'll
Come
fight
play
you
with
right
me.
now.
You're already dead.
But
You're dead.
play with
Wake
me.
up.
Mm.
I don't like this.
Chrissy,
Cabin
wake
Fever was the
up.
movie, by the way. I just for the listener that it's sitting there yelling at their screen. I figured it out. So
What was it?
Yeah, Eli Roth movie.
Cabin Fever.
Oh,
I feel
okay.
like I've seen some
He-
of that, but I don't remember.
They probably stole it from that one because this one came out in the mid 2000s. But same thing, like the water messes with them or something. And this one guy was like, "I'm drinking beer the whole weekend," and and he
I mean,
made
I
it
brought
a
a
lot
cooler
further
the whole
than-
damn
yeah.
time.
I'm feeling great.
Let's see here.
So after that, anybody got anything else on that last scene that we didn't really talk about? I mean, the bathroom scene.
So the first with the sink scene, it just looks like dirty water. Hers is clearly blood. Like,
Is it
let's
blood?
jump. It looked like blood to me.
I guess
I'm
when you say
thinking
that,
mud.
it
I'm
did
thinking
have like that
mud
kind of
or, like,
dilution
dark.
look
Yeah.
Yeah.
when it
came
mixed in.
out of the
I
faucet,
I
I
could
didn't
the
see
think
it.
question
so.
is why would
I
it
didn't
be
think
blood?
blood,
Why
But
would
when
it
it
be
came
blood?
up,
Because they didn't bludgeon him to death or anything. They just accidentally drowned him.
I guess we would know if she showered with her fucking light or took a bath with the lights on.
Then you'd be expecting to see more, and you can't do that.
Also,
right.
for a
Yeah, go ahead.
WB show, like it's like you're getting kind of ballsy. Like,
We got a whole back there. We got a
I
whole
don't think I
back
saw any
on
balls
side.
on her.
Oh, damn it. Would it?
oh,
aha!
Must have missed that one.
All right,
let's
so
see.
monster demon they face. You know, we talked about it. It's a water spirit, that type of stuff. Okay. Favorite or scariest part? I didn't really like. I guess it would be for me. It's the opening scene because I hate open water. Just period. If I'm tubing, if I'm a boat and I get left, like I fall off the tube and I have to wait for them to come back. Like I just start thinking like,
The
here
thoughts
it goes.
creeping.
This
Yeah.
is it. Like, and when
Yeah,
she's in the
intrusive
water and it's
thoughts.
looking at her from the bottom, yep, that's my scariest part because I hate open water. I hate it. Like, unless I am 3/4 through a 12-pack, like I hate open water. It's 3/4 through a 12-pack. I don't even care.
This is really-
It's all
When
When you
good
think
at
about
that
it,
point.
I'm just
Just
doing
advertising
the
for
I'm just
life
doing the
jacket.
Ron White, land it hard. I don't want to limp away from this type of thing. I don't want to limp away from this. But like that is my scariest part was the opening scene. Favorite? I don't know. There wasn't really a favorite for me. I mean, probably my favorite was probably the actual best type of acting was one of the two scenes, either the dad on the dock talking about it or Dean talking to the kid. And I don't even think that Dean talking to a kid is a great acting scene. I think it just builds on his actual character arc. And that is probably my favorite part of that. Zach, what about you?
I'm scariest and favorite for me tied because the whole time we're building, I'm like, we've got no concrete monster here. It's a water essence thing, nothing tying it down to a single spot. And when I saw that hand pop out, I was like, oh my god, you bury the lead on it all the way till the end.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see it coming. I wasn't expecting it. It got me. And I was like, for one, the whole time watching the episode, I was thoroughly impressed. I did not enjoy the last episode. So this one, I was like, I don't know if much changed. Like the formula isn't that different, but for some reason, the pacing on this one felt more natural, faster,
Supernatural.
more intelligent, maybe. Or again, like I said, there wasn't a ton of like detective work in the other one, and they had to do a little bit here, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Which was more enjoyable. But yeah, so I was just enjoying the whole thing, and we hit the end, and that I was just like, perfect, sold me on the whole. I was like, this is a great episode. Two for me on that one.
Perfect. Nice. Jordan, go ahead.
It won't
Oh,
probably
go ahead,
never
Zach.
happen
Sorry.
again, but
Say it'll never happen again.
'cause I usually don't like the scary moments, so being that it was a scary moment, I
Mhm.
liked.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
So that last part was probably the scariest, because like Zach was saying, when the kid was by the water, I thought he was gonna fall in and then it was gonna take him. So when that arm popped out, I jumped. Like it scared me. And then seeing the thing, like its eyes, like that, I hated it.
Oh, it's like all
I got-
blackened.
Oh my god!
I got really,
it was
really
like what
I
the
got really.
ring?
Not, the
Yeah,
Ring,
that's what I
or
thought.
like what's the one where like the
Grunge.
photograph one? Grunge. Yeah, the Grudge, where it's
Oh,
a
Hand out of the
photograph.
back of the head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Where like they take photographs and they can see it.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, that it freaked me out. I didn't like that. But also, that was probably the biggest scene for me. But then also the sink scene, really, I didn't like that at all either. That one freaked me out too. But like that was
Jordan's
the
not
false
going
clock.
to wash his hands ever again.
Dude,
So whatever
dude,
you do, guys,
when-
don't
oh my god.
shake Jordan's
After
hand.
he pulled
Do
the
not.
drain out and then he does like this, I'm like, don't you fucking do it. I'm like,
Dude, that
I'm
thing's
like
that
starting
thing's
to
clogged.
sweat. Like,
Call a
don't
plumber. Call
Yeah.
a plumber.
just get out.
If my sink did that, I'm not sticking my arm down there.
Break the sink. Just put a hole in the bottom. It's no good.
I'm walking away.
But yeah, so that
Yeah.
last scene, I like the last scene the best. I think how it built up with the sheriff guy, and then his daughter, like, what the fuck, dude, and then the kid, and yeah, I think it was a good way to. It was like the perfect top off to the episode.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it brought everything at once.
Yeah, it came all
Go
together
ahead.
at the very end because it had built up, and we still didn't really know hardly anything about it until, boom! Now it's all here. So I think
Right.
that was
Yeah.
the best part.
So yeah, the final scene's the scariest, for sure. Favorite scene, though, I think I might have to go with like the scene with Dean and the kid, like where he's like talking about his mom, like wanting her to be brave and all that. Like that was probably my go-to scene. It just, like you said, it builds on the character. You get to see, not only does it build on his character, but it builds on Sam's relationship to his brother. Like you get to kind of see like his appreciation for kind of the way he kind of went about things. 'Cause, you know, when you think about it, Sam was a baby. Like he never understood Dean's perspective probably when he was. 'Cause I think the concept is that they're 4 years apart, if I remember correctly. So Dean was like 5, 6.
Yeah.
And Sam was 1.
2.
So he wouldn't even
Right.
remember. Yeah.
He wouldn't remember the way he was dealing with his mom's death at all. But yeah, that's kind of mine. I did have another couple little loose notes. That's all right. I can bring up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The color grading on the episode, like where it kind of like just gets real pale, like when she's out in the lake, and that first the scary one for him. Like, I don't know, their willingness to play with the colors on this show really
Yeah.
has always been a
I
positive.
think they have to. I think they have to because their budget is so low. So the camera or the director and the camera operators, I think they had to work together to kind of use that as a almost cheap way of changing the looks of the
mood.
actual episode. I
Yeah.
hate to say it, but I think it was
Yeah.
actual budget because they had to kind of use that as a cheap way of doing it.
Yeah,
It worked.
probably
though.
it's true, but they do it effectively though.
Mhm.
Right, exactly. I mean, they do. I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm saying that's why we notice it. Anything else, guys?
Also, yeah, these are just kind of some random notes here. The fact that the guy's like, "I'm gonna make dinner, Dad," and he has a fresh caught fish. Really, just because you live on a lake? Give me a break.
That house was so dirty, it bothered me to my core.
Oh, here's one.
They-
Here's a. Oh, I completely. I can kind of see it though. The
Daughter
mom
died.
had passed away.
I was saying the mom clearly wasn't around.
Like the mom was probably the one doing. The daughter was probably actually the one keeping it clean. The daughter dies, and then you've got two men
it was
living
dirty
together.
when she was in that house too, because I noticed it right away.
Was it? I didn't even notice that.
I was like, maybe this is a part-time house that they don't really care about.
House looks
keeping up
like now.
kept being in there. I was like, no, they live in that shithole. Okay.
Speaking of houses, there's another one. It's one of my final notes. Is like the kid drew that cabin, and they went to go to that cabin like twice. Never went into that cabin. Never had any plot relevance. It just put them where they needed to be for story points.
Right.
Hmm.
They're like, "Oh, time to go to this cabin." Like, "Oh, look, guy's going out on a boat. Let's go over to the cabin again." "Oh,
Right.
look, so and so just drowned himself, and the guy drowned in a sink." Like.
Right.
That cabin had nothing to do with it. The kid was just like, you know what? I like this house.
And you know what? I kind of thought for a second that cabin. It reminded me of the cabin in Lake Placid.
I'd agree with that.
It looked like the cabin from Lake Placid. If you don't remember Lake Placid, it's the
Oh.
giant alligator movie
In the lake.
in the lake
Oh.
where the old lady's feeding like cows to this giant alligator who's been her baby forever. Like, it's a mid
I
2000s.
haven't seen that one. Yeah, that sounds crazy.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're gonna save that one. We'll have to
it's
do.
good.
We'll have to do that as a movie
It's
reaction
a
at
real
some
good
point.
one. I do enjoy that one.
Plug for Super Neutral Bros, the movie, which will be our movie podcast that we do in between seasons here. That will also be sponsored by Busch Light. Busch Light, it makes movies better.
Okay, I wanted
We'll
to
get
add
'em.
one
We'll get 'em.
one thing. I
They'll
wanted
come
to add
around.
one thing to our episodes, and that is body count, like deaths,
Mhm.
not body count, and then
I was talking about deeds.
and then favorite death.
Oh yeah, Death of the
Okay.
Week.
Okay, death
Ah,
of the
yeah.
week. So
I
body
do
count
before
for this
we
week. Yeah, go ahead.
wait before we do that. The last note I have, I think, was actually a little bit more of a like a little bit more character depth than one we should probably brought up with the Dean Sam thing. The fact that we actually see them dejected. It's not like they didn't beat it and they're not celebrating. They're downtrodden because they basically just let everyone die. Like they're depressed about not saving everybody, and then bring up the fact that they can't.
Can't save
I
everything.
like that.
2 out of
That's
7.
2 out of 7.
Hey. It's a failing grade, but
Anyways,
They do bring that up at the end of the episode. We can't save everyone.
Mhm.
which leads perfectly into the body count.
Right. So, on our first episode, how many deaths were there? I believe that there was only one. So that was the shortest one.
2, not 3, 3. But that's because you have plot ones. You have the mom dying in the
Mom,
beginning.
girlfriend.
Yeah, I don't count that
and
really.
then-
Right. But then you
The
have
mom
Oh,
you
yeah,
have the-
mom, girlfriend. Yeah, I guess 3.
And the
So
kid.
3. 3 in that one.
3.
Okay. All right. Second episode. All right. You got the 2 campers and our boy
Roy.
Roy.
So 3 also.
3. And then this one, you got the girl, you got the brother, you got the dad, and you got the cop.
Yeah.
Like those are the 4 of
On
the
screen,
episode.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep, on screen. Now you could count the little
could-
kid. You
the
could
other ones
count
were implied,
the
but
husband,
yeah.
but
No,
those are
gotta
those are the 4
happen.
on screen.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's our highest count, the kill count for to this date. Was
I
this
feel like we're
episode.
gonna debate on the death of the week on this one.
Okay, so death of the week. That's it's for me. It is the sink scene for me. It's the death of the week. It
I
is
see
the
that.
scariest. It is the one that you didn't, and it was for me even more. Like I said, the scariest part for me was the girl in the open water. But when the music raises with him as he's about to pull out the drain, and you think he's going to get pulled in,
Yeah.
and then he sets to the side and he goes
Anticipation.
back in. Like, what are you grabbing for? What do you think's down there?
It's
You think there's
blood.
hair there? What the hell? Is it old food? What? Just it's plug.
Fish
Get a
guts.
goddamn plunger. Get a goddamn plunger. There's nothing that you're gonna grab
Third
out of
time
there.
this week.
Third time this week.
All right, Zach, your death of the week.
I'm just going to try and go counterpoint here. The opening death was a great one because you have no idea what we're dealing with yet.
Yeah, I
you
like
get-
that.
You know,
Yeah.
for me, I'm watching it and I'm going with the they had the third person like Bush's view. I was like, okay, so they're the water in here is the false herring, the red herring. Something in
coming
the
out
bushes
of-
is waiting for it to
yeah.
come out, and that's when we're going to see. That's what's going to be our thing this week. So that piece, along with the tension of the water, I like that.
Go ahead, Jordan.
I'd say Bill on the boat. Just because.
God.
Just because I know what you
Seriously,
want.
it's the
Got
worst.
four, we can mix it
It's
up.
the worst death.
He rips
the
it out
worst
there
death.
and then just boom, it explodes.
The thing is they're like, come back. He's like, nah, I'm
Come back.
good. I'm
Mm-mm.
gonna go for a boat ride.
Mm-mm. I got
He
this.
thinks he's making his own choice.
He
He's going to
thinks he's
jump
gonna
off
stop
after he
this
takes a
thing.
moment to think
Yeah.
about his children, and the thing's just like, no, you
Nah.
die now.
No, you're
Yeah.
done. Yeah, he
Fuck
went
that
out in a blaze of
All
glory. So
Yeah, I was debating greatly the sink scene or the boat scene. but I think the son drowning in that sink is it's too fucking good.
It's a good one.
And with 2 votes, the death of the week is the sink scene.
His is the most brutal
Go ahead and
death.
head to our Twitter page right now. Go ahead and head to our Twitter page right now
Take
to
your
vote
vote.
for your favorite death this week.
Yes.
Love it.
Extra work for you, Jordan.
Pressure's on.
Oh man, that sink scene was so fucking brutal though.
Oh, it's so brutal.
Like, you know, like all it would
I'm
take
just
is someone to help him, and
Anytime my
nobody's
sink,
there.
anytime
Ugh.
my sink clogs now, I am just getting a plunger
No,
every time.
I'm just gonna move.
I will say, as far as like the monster of the week goes, this is my favorite thing we've encountered in
Yeah.
the show so far.
Agreed.
Definitely.
Agreed.
This was
Of
a
the 3
really
episodes.
good.
Like I think
I like it.
Yeah.
I think the lady in white's in there. The like Lady White was good, but she doesn't have enough screen time to really develop. The Wendigo was kind of just a generic, almost.
Well, we got to see the source of the monster too. Like we got to learn the entire genesis of it.
Right,
And-
like I
and
said,
the history.
I
It's,
think
it's a
that helped.
combination of it's a combination of Cold Case and and X-Files, pretty much, to make a supernatural right there. Okay, so what you're looking forward to for the next episode? I'll start off with, I mean, still, I know I'm just going to piggyback off what I've been saying for the last 2 episodes, but the continuation of the development of the brotherly relationship. Like, we have seen them, you know, go from being distanced to one being angered and one being in control to pretty much one being the driving force of this episode. I'm just wondering when, like, it's going to be, I don't know, a 50-50 between the character development of those 2 in the actual episode. Like on this episode, it was a ton on the actual monster and what was going on. But I'm looking forward to it almost becoming a 50-50, and I don't know if we'll ever really get there. But that's what I'm kind of looking forward to, is almost a 50-50 between the character development of those 2 and the monster / other characters. Go ahead, Zach.
I want to see him kick some ass. Like we didn't get any fight scenes here.
Fight something.
So let's see him put that trunk full of weapons to some use and
We
shoot
got some
something.
great swim scenes, though. He pulled them out, and that was a slow motion pull out swim scene.
Went in a leather jacket. I've never
Yeah,
done
the
it. I
problem
can't
is-
imagine it's something you want to do.
Yeah.
He
The
took
problem
it
is-
off before. He took it off before.
Did he take off the leather shoes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Of course,
he
he took the leather
Oh, yeah,
jacket
he did.
off.
You can't show
Uh,
me the link of that thing on. You know what that
You
thing's
can
made out of?
ruin
Had to
Leather.
take off the
You're gonna ruin the
boots.
leather.
Had to take that off.
Here's the problem is, I've seen Fast Time at Ridgemont High, and my bar from slow motion get out of pool scenes is really fucking high. I also seen Daniel Craig get out of the ocean in Casino Royale. So,
Yeah.
like,
that
Those are
tilted
the
a lot of
two.
scales.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Sets the bar pretty high.
All right,
That's the bar.
Jordan, what about you? What are you looking forward to for the next episode?
I think I'm most excited to see what the next monster is. Like if
Okay.
it's just gonna be like a corporeal, or if it's
ooh, spooky ghost.
yeah, like I'm just excited to see like what kind of monster it is and then how they deal with it. I guess.
All right, good. And Eric?
Again, like I've seen all the episodes, so I have a good idea of what's coming. But the thing,
Well, okay, hold on. Then I'm going to change the question for you. Okay, what are you looking forward to in? I don't know. Almost like what are you looking forward to in Jordan developing from this show in the next episode?
or Zach, who has never seen it.
Yeah, true, Zach.
I think it's kind of like just the building. Like at this point, we're starting to kind of get a repertoire of knowledge built up, and I'm looking forward to kind of seeing like to kind of be able to predict it and go it out. So, for example, they mentioned the fact like, hey, like we're like, tell me you didn't dump the body in the lake. Like we need to find the bones and burn them.
Mm-hmm.
Salt them and burn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which, if you remember in the very first episode, they're like, if she's buried at the house, Dad would have went there, found the bones, salted and burned them. Which is what they were originally going to the house to do to kill the white lady,
Yeah.
which was to salt and burn the bones. And then they just happened to be like, fuck your car.
Here's some keys.
Yeah.
and just happened to get
Exactly.
lucky on it, or Sam
Right.
figured it out. But
Yeah.
the point is, like, you start to like, there is a repertoire of knowledge you start to build in the show on the rules of how this world works.
And
that
so that
will
we can use them too, also,
to start-
when we get
Right,
scared.
like
Exactly.
just like the fact that they
So
went
they do
into
keep world building, and
yeah, it's not like they're like throwaway things. Like if they end up running into the same type of monster twice, same rules to kill it,
Yeah.
same rules to track it down.
Right.
Well, the next episode is called The Phantom Traveler, or just Phantom Traveler.
Okay,
Nice.
that kind of gives us a little lead point for our next episode. Other than that, anything else anybody wants to add?
Yeah,
Yes, the OnlyFans will be launching by episode 10.
Yeah,
If you like to see our feet,
feet fans.
Feet
We're starting our
fans.
own website because the OnlyFans keeps too much of the gross.
it's called
Um,
Super Neutral Feet Fan.
Super Ninja Feet.
It's a little wordy. It's a working title.
It's a working title.
Working title.
Oh, I do have a question for you. Does their cover in the next episode get blown?
I feel
They
next
are 0
episode.
for 3 right now.
Next
Yeah.
episode, they got it. I think they're good.
You think they're due? I'm going to say they obviously get busted. They're 0 for 3.
They
You
are.
don't
I
bet
don't.
on
I
a
don't
losing
think they.
team.
I don't think they actually cover themselves for this entire first season. It's all just terrible. So by the second season, they're driving around and people are like, "Yeah, we know who you are." People talk.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here.
The weird guys, right? Put shit in your trunk.
People don't forget.
Oh,
People don't forget.
All
all
right.
right. I think I got to drop here. 'Cause
Yep. Other than that, all right. I am Jared.
Eric,
Zach,
Jordan.
And we are the Super Neutral Bros. Thank you for tuning in for episode 3. We will be back for episode 4.
the
Have a
Phantom
good one.
Traveler.